I think we are finally done with the young adult movie genre. I think we made it. Maze Runner: The Death Cure is directed by Wes Ball and stars Dylan O'Brien. This movie picks up right after the Scorch trials, and now we have Minho being captured and Teresa backstabbed them, and Thomas and the gang want to get revenge on Wicked and everything, so they're going after the corporation to get Minho back and to sort of maybe reconnect with Teresa. That's where we have our movie, and there's also this cure going around, or a cure trying to be made for this flare disease that turned you into a zombie, basically. Now, I enjoyed the last two Maze Runner movies. I really liked the first one. I didn't really love the second one, but this one I was a little iffy on because, you know, it's in January, and it's sort of the end of a franchise that nobody really loved all that much from the beginning. It was always just kind of okay. But I think one really admirable thing is that Wes Ball stayed with this trilogy the whole time. He directed all three. And I think that's really cool because most of the times with these movies you see like one person come in, one person come in, and it just sort of changes every movie. But with this one, each movie feels really different from the last one, and I like that about these. The Death Cure is very different from the previous two, I feel, and the Scorch Trials is different from both of them, and I just think they're all very different movies. That being said, the Maze Runner, the first one, is my favorite because that's the most original, and I feel like that's the one that's like this self-contained mystery. I like that one. But this one is really good, surprisingly. As we all know, Dylan O'Brien got terribly injured on set for this movie, and he came back and finished it, and I think he did a great job. I couldn't even tell if there was any reshoots or anything. He did a great job, and he really is a star because this movie is all on him, and I think he did a great job. The plot is really simple, and I don't think we needed 2 hours and 20 minutes to tell the story. The movie is a tad bit too long. I felt like the movie had like Return of the King endings. I had to go to the bathroom so bad at the end of this movie, and I just wanted it to end because it kept going and going and going, and I felt like it would never end, and I was like, there's so many points where you could end this movie, and they're just not doing it. But besides that, I really don't have any issues with The Death Cure. I think, you know, there's obviously some very stupid moments, some very unrealistic, unbelievable moments of action and ridiculous scenes and CGI and all that stuff, but that's kind of expected at this point with this franchise, and I think this is one of the better YA adaptations in a very long time. You have 50 Shades of Grey, which is not good. You have Twilight, which is not good, and then I feel like this is like second best to Hunger Games in my opinion. Well, Harry Potter. This is like the third best YA franchise that's been like recently shoved down our throats lately. And as I said in my intro, I think we're finally done with the YA movies. This trilogy managed to stay consistent the whole time, and every movie is solid, and that's all I could really ask for with this series. So I'm glad to say that this movie is not horrible, and I'm glad to say that this whole trilogy has not been horrible, and I'm glad that Wes Ball has an eye for action, and he can really do no wrong when it comes to this series, and I really want to see what he does next in his career because I think he did a really fantastic job with sticking to one project and one franchise and seeing it the whole way through because that's not really often seen. The supporting characters in this movie are also really good. There are a lot of actors in this movie that I did not know would be in this movie, and I was sitting there in the theater like shocked for most of it, and I was like, whoa, this guy's in it, this guy's in it, wow. There's a lot of like really cool twists and turns, and I like that stuff. The friendship between Thomas and Newt is really at the emotional core of this movie, and there's a lot of really nice moments with them two, and it's just very well done, and I thought their friendship was really well realized. The villains in this movie as well. Littlefinger from Game of Thrones is really good here. I loved him in the last one, and he has an even bigger role in this one, I think, and he's really cool in this movie. I was very happy about that. What I liked about this movie was that it was kind of like a breakout thriller. It was like, we gotta go get Minho, let's go. And they're all going in, and there's a lot of, you'll know when you see it, there's a scene, there's so many scenes at the end of this movie that remind me of A New Hope, and it's just so great, honestly. I loved seeing all that play out and just the undercover stuff. It was great. What's interesting though is that the cure plot, the main plot of the movie, sort of gets shifted to the sideline a little bit and it becomes really about let's go get Minho back. And I don't know if that's really what should have happened, but it did happen, so I guess I just gotta live with it. But I did really like the plot where we have to save the world and less about this personal, we have to go get our friend back. I know at the end of the day it is a personal story, but I like the worldwide sort of like, we need to get this done, let's go. But that's not what the movie's about. It's about getting Minho back, and that's fine. I just think there was way too much time spent getting Minho back, to be honest. I think you could have wrapped this movie up. You could have given this movie like a 2-hour runtime and we would have been set. However, I am glad that they didn't split this into 2 parts like they do for The Hunger Games or Twilight or Harry Potter. I'm glad that this movie was a 1, 2, and 3. I'm glad we didn't have a 4th movie or anything. I'm very happy that we kept it as 1 movie, so that was awesome. With all that being said, I really enjoyed The Death Cure, and I thought it was a great time, and I think you should definitely check it out if you enjoy this series. Even if you just kind of enjoy this series, I think this is one of the better Maze Runner movies. It's second best, in my opinion, but it's a really enjoyable, solid action movie, and I thought the action was stunning, including the train sequence at the beginning. It was fantastic. So what did you guys think of Maze Runner: The Death Cure? Be sure to let me know in the comments down below. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.